Hey Scorpio, Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. We take what works, leave what doesn't. And if I don't catch your wavelength on this reading, go check your other major placements or your, or just wait till next week or something. So if you haven't already, please do click that subscribe button. It helps other people find my channel and makes me happy. And we're starting off with an intuitive vibe here from our Oracle decks, Moonology and Work Your Light. And then we'll move to a more traditional tarot spread with the Tarot of Mystical Moments. I've already got one card coming out here. Anything else? Am I going to have to... I might just split the deck here if we don't get anything in a second. Okay, this looks like the right thing. All right, anything else? Anything else want to come to our attention for Scorpio this week? Okay, that looks good. Ooh, I like this one. This is important feedback. Confirmation. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, you got a bunch of my, like, the more obscure favorites, you know, obviously like, new relationships, blah, blah, blah. So exciting and fun and very, you know, obviously our favorites, but we have some really good ones here that have some, anyway, we have North Node, step out of your comfort zone. North Node, if you haven't already, I'm not an astrologer, but if you haven't already, I would recommend researching your North Node, understanding that it's brought me a lot of clarity and helped me understand my journey. So North Node is about, well, for one, it's about all of our very unique journeys. We're starting off from very unique places with very unique inborn skill sets into very unique situations that really affect us. And then that combination gets sort of brewed together in our formative years, and then we move on through life. So North Node is about big changes in ways in which you interact with life, in what you value, in how you handle yourself and handle the issues that you face. So this is about a lot of growth. So it does take stepping out of your comfort zone, though, because the first part you're developing this comfort zone, but then you have all these things you need to learn and move forward with, and so they're all going to require you to step out of this comfort zone that you developed in your formative years, and now you have to step out of them, and your life path is about this kind of growth. It comes pretty naturally, I think, but you do still need that encouragement to go pursue it. The opportunities to change in this way will be coming, are there. It's just a matter of grasping that opportunity and choosing to move in that direction. So North Node, step out of your comfort zone, trying to find a new way to relate. Also, this card always reminds me that advice is not one size fits all. We all have very unique personalities that have combined with very unique situations. And so, you know, what advice, so this journey always reminds me of how unique each of us are and how, you know, advice is not one size fits all. So, so it works for some people. So some people are here learning certain lessons, and others of us are here learning other lessons. And so it's important to get feedback and important to hear what other people have to tell us. But it's also important to understand that your journeys may not be exactly the same as other people around us. So to me, step out of your comfort zone, North Node. It's all about your very unique journey and the things that you are being challenged with, the things that life is naturally bringing up for you to challenge you to move forward with, and to try out new ways of dealing with your issues, your problems, the topics that come back over and over again. And then I really like this, your hard work is paying off. You might be like, oh, but I do step out of my comfort zone. Well, your hard work is paying off. This is going to pay off. This step out of your comfort zone, new moon in Capricorn, you are figuring out a new way of doing things. And this means to me in the 3D, a new way of approaching problems, approaching issues actually in the the 3D realm. So you may have been putting a lot of work into learning how to do something differently, into yourself, into your I want to say self-help or self-empowerment, or your own journey, trying to understand your own journey, trying to continually stepping out of your comfort zone. And this is saying it is going to pay off. Those challenges, those steps, those risks, those uncomfortable things that you've trying something new as you try to grow and become more yourself, whatever that is at any given point in time, but trying to maintain that connection to your truest self, even as life brings you these challenges. So that hard work, it is paying off. It is going to pay off. Conclusions are within reach, full moon in eclipse. So there has been some sort of journey. This could be the pulling off, the shutting off. I always think of it as a valve, or locks. Like we're a ship going through the locks, and then that once we're at the level we need to be at, it closes. We're not going to backslide. We're not going back to the other lock because it's had to close. That's how the growth or the journey to the other other level of water works. So something's ending or something's coming to a conclusion. We don't have to learn those lessons again. We're leveling up. We're moving forward. And so this often looks a little bit scary, like a gate coming down or something like that. Shoop, that's over. But this is a very hopeful sign, a very good sign of true growth, true permanent growth forward. You've stepped out of your comfort zone. It's going to pay off, and maybe you have really learned a new way of dealing with something, and you're not going to need to go back and relearn those lessons again, which is fine. I remember there's a phrase like, life keeps giving you the lesson till you get it. And I thought for a long time, I was like, that seems so bitchy. Like, you better learn this. If you don't learn it and learn it good, I'm just going to keep giving you shit. But the thing is, it's actually very reassuring. So if you've learned something, if you've struggled to learn something, just know that if you ever backslide, life's going to be there right again, helping you with another situation that you can rebuild that muscle, get back on track. So it's not a mean thing. It's just honestly the way it is. And if you, and it's kind of reassuring. Like, I hope I never forget that lesson. Yeah, life's not going to let you forget that lesson, because it'll be there for you waiting anytime you do forget it, which is good. You can be like, all right, another opportunity to work this muscle. Thank you, life. Kind of forgot to do that. All right, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. Oh my gosh, Libra just got several of these cards. And then there's the Libra card here too. So justice. So let's see here. There was just one reading. I think it was Virgo that had a lot of major arcana, but there have not been a lot of major arcana coming out this week. And yours is no different. We do have the Hierophant and Justice here as the major gist here is some sort of traditional thing, traditional wisdom, and some sort of ideas of fairness and integrity. So in your recent past, you have the Hierophant card. This is that traditional wisdom that gets passed down through our institutions a lot of times. So in the recent past, you may have been dealing with some sort of institution. With the Justice card here, it could have been a legal institution, legal issues, could be schools, could be large corporations, could be government. These things could be religion. Did I already say that? Yeah. So anyway, these things do have like some sort of kernel of an idea, an ideal that human, and I'm seeing ideal too with justice, an ideal that humans at one point wanted to have embodied and have permanentized, fossilized in a way in society, right? So we have these ideals that get embodied in these institutions. The institutions, it's like... Yeah, they don't always reflect what's on the inside. It's like, if you had like a little like star and then you like drew lines around it and then eventually you end up with a circle. That circle doesn't look much like the star. that you started tracing and a line around. But through time and reiteration, it becomes a totally different shape. But at the kernel was this truth and was this important value. So you've been dealing with some sort of institution, some sort of historic institution or historical knowledge. It could be history, or an institution like we call marriage an institution. It's about commitment. It gets really weird and has a lot of weird expectations associated with it, but that kernel of truth has been in there. So you've been sort of learning from an institution under the guidance or the tutelage of an institution for a long time, for a while, and whether or not it fully embodied its ideals, I don't know, but it tried, and you were there to receive the kernels of truth that are held within these institutions or pillowed within these institutions. I also want to see a pearl, something like that, the core, but you had to deal with the institution in order to get that nugget of knowledge that's buried within it. In your current situation, there's conflict here. We have maybe some strategizing needing to happen, a situation requiring strategy, requiring forethought. There could be, oftentimes the Five of Wands talks about it like a hot, heated conflict. This card, maybe the emotions behind it are hot and heated, but it is a battle. Chess is a battlefield, but instead of having an open battlefield with people literally being shot and killed, we're having an intellectual battlefield. There is a battle. It might be within, it might be with somebody else, but there is a battle, a conflict going on here, requiring focused attention, requiring your attention, and some strategizing, and it could be within, but it could be some sort of difficulty or battle, a contest of wills. I mean, it's nice, like what were they saying? It's better than an actual open conflict where people lose limbs and get shot, right? Like it's better. Is it great? No, but it's better than that kind of conflict. So we're talking about some sort of non-physical conflict, either within yourself or with somebody else, and it's really taking a lot of your attention and a lot of your focus. It might be for a limited time. The game doesn't go on forever, but it is here, and it's requiring some focused strategizing and energy. This totally looks like a divorce, honestly, but that's not going to be for everybody, obviously, but that could be a metaphor to deal with, the conflict, the institution, the conflict, and now we have justice. So we are justice, hopes, fears, inner landscape, really thinking about concepts of integrity, concepts of fairness, of balance, of karmic balance, hoping for some fairness. I mean, this justice card here, this does include talking about with the Hierophant here and the conflict card. This does look like, if not divorce, it looks like a legal battle, and you're hoping for a fair outcome. You're hoping for some sort of fairness, but that justice card does sometimes refer to our justice system. With the Hierophant card, it does look like that could be a possibility for some of you. For others, we're just talking about kernels of truth and fairness and ideas. I mean, and just even if it's not gone into the legal realm, we have, which this would definitely also, the strategizing and the clearly delineated sides. And basically, if your lawyer's any good, they should be playing chess, not checkers. But you're hoping for some sort of fair outcome, to be treated fairly, treated appropriately. Hopefully the judge is in a good mood or isn't a sexist jerk that's going to side with the man no matter what the man does. And that can go both ways. That can definitely go both ways. So hopefully the judge is going to be fair. So you're hoping for some sort of fairness, some sort of balancing of the scales, some sort of justice to come in here, and truth. You'd like to see some truth coming in here, because a lot of this strategy here seems to be obfuscating something. This conflict could use some truth, could use some fairness, and you're really hoping that, you know, you don't know where that's going to come from. You don't know how that's going to arrive in this situation, but man, would you really like, you feel like you're being treated unfairly. You might feel like there's some tricks going on, and you'd certainly like some clarity here. This also raises questions about how you do what you do. I mean, sometimes we're put in situations where we can't behave in the way that we normally would, because that would leave us vulnerable, or that would leave us, that would be unfair to us. So you may be having to strategize more than you'd like to, and you might be wondering, am I being fair? Am I being, you know, how am I approaching this battle? Am I bringing, you know, my best self? Am I bringing my ethics? Because this stuff, it can bite you in the ass, right? Later, it can sneak up and bite you in the ass. So maybe you're hoping for that for somebody else, or you're trying to be very careful about that and make sure you're not building, you know, bad karma or bad energy for yourself while you're dealing with the conflict. This is an incredibly difficult task, to be in conflict with someone while also being mindful of your own ethics, of your own responsibilities, of your own, you know, you're responsible for your behavior. But then how do you deal with conflict? How do you defend yourself? Is it an attack or a defense? Like, just because the other person says it's an attack doesn't necessarily mean it is. I mean, you could be feeling self-defense. So it can get very confusing, and trying to, you know, hold your head up in a conflict and trying to deal with that can be very difficult. So you are struggling with that, or looking at that and wondering about, you know, not wanting to create bad energy in your own life as you deal with this conflict. Conclusions are within reach, and I think you are hoping for some sort of determination here, some sort of justice to come in. What's at issue is this Nine of Swords reversed. So this is like coming out of a nightmare, coming out of a difficult time, coming out of a period that's been very anxiety inducing. And I was just thinking yesterday about anxiety and how some situations, you'd be crazy to not have anxiety in that situation. It'd be nuts to not be anxious in that situation. When you know someone's like lying to you or strategizing, or, you know, when this whole top row looks like a pretty precarious, difficult situation, and there's been some anxiety here, but you're starting to leave it behind. You're starting to leave some sort of nightmare or some sort of anxiety inducing situation behind, dealing with your fears, dealing with you know, worst case scenario ideas. I wouldn't say it's an issue per se. It's just like part of this whole thing might be waking up and realizing things and leaving some sort of anxieties behind. Maybe even leaving it in the hands of fate, in the hands of karma to deal with the situation, and learning how to allow karma to do its thing without you having to, you know, get revenge or anything like that, but allowing some greater institution outside of you to deal with your anxieties, or to trusting that can happen. But anyway, so you're dealing with this. Is a lovely card in reverse, actually. I don't want to call it a problem, but, you know, as you're waking up to all the, maybe even ways in which you've made your life more difficult through anxiety, or a situation that has provoked a lot of anxiety, and getting away from that and leaving that situation behind, or waking up from that situation. In your environment, so this whole top row is really a lot of difficulty. The Hierophant, the Five of Wands, the Justice. This is, you know, this traditional institution. Well, it's not necessarily difficult, but sitting next to the Five of Wands and followed by this Justice, it does look really difficult. Five of Wands, conflict, justice, hoping for some fairness. This Nine of Swords reverse is pretty good, though. I would like that. I like that one. Here's Ten of Cups. So in your environment, either you or someone you know, or some other aspect of your life is going really well. There's been some difficulty. The difficulties have been overcome. There's some peace. There's some tranquility. This is like the beautiful part of the relationship, the beautiful part of, where you've gotten what you've wanted and you're reveling in it, and you're just able to sit for a minute and enjoy some beautiful, peaceful, harmonious, satisfying either part of your life, other part of your life, or someone that is happy, which is kind of interesting when we're going through struggles and we're in conflict. This is not conflict. There's either some part of your life that's not experiencing any conflict and it's actually super supportive and super wonderful and makes you feel really good. Like you've got some sort of sanctuary somewhere in your life, some place where you feel peace. This may or may not be with another person. This could be just a place where you feel peaceful, you feel at home, you feel relaxed. It's whenever there's a storm, you can retreat to that place. So there's like a retreat vibe here, some sort of vacation from this conflict or this argument. There's some place where you feel peaceful, or there's someone around you that, I don't feel that, but they could, just technically this card could also be, the Ten of Cups could be someone that that's having a great, happy relationship, and you're having a lot of difficulties and a lot of conflict, but you can see someone around you. You might be jealous of them, or you might be looking to them for an example, but you can see someone around you that has achieved that peace with another person or in their life, some sort of resting point. They've been through a lot of difficulty, and now they're really able to enjoy the moment, enjoy the rainbow, enjoy this break in the clouds, that life brings us, and the difficulties. Your to-do list is Six of Cups. Six of Cups as a to-do list? I don't think I've ever gotten this card in the to-do list. It's about nostalgia. It's about looking back on your childhood. It's about looking back at a happier time, a time where things were were easier. There's a buoyancy here to this memory. There's a joy to this memory, a happiness and a peace. This could be reconnecting with something or someone that made you happy in the past, a childhood friend, siblings, if you had good relationships with them. Reconnecting with something from your past. This could be something, your to-do list isn't, you have to do this. It's like, look for opportunities, or to just reconnect with maybe a hobby or something that you used to do that made you feel peaceful and lovely. Did you used to read? Did you used to get just absorbed in these stories? This would be like, pick up maybe even an old book, right? A book that you really enjoyed as a child, a movie you really enjoyed when you were a kid, your favorite. Just going back, there's some place, there's some sanctuary, and this almost seems to me to be saying, go back to that sanctuary. You do have a sanctuary. You do have a sanctuary in this storm, in this conflict. There is a place that makes you feel good, that you can return to. So it's really funny because we were talking about step out of your comfort zone, moving forward with our lives, away from some of these formative events. And in some way, this is saying, but don't forget the formative events that felt good, that carry them with you forward. Not everything from your childhood needs to be thrown out. Not everything from your past needs to be escaped from or let go of. These are some buoyant memories, and they're being held onto. And so this is a card about nostalgia, a card about happiness and returning to a happier time, returning to something that reminded you how lovely life was, that filled you with awe or peace. And re-engaging with that. So I went off on this North Node, but this is really, actually, there's something back there you don't need to leave behind. We're concluding things, we're moving forward, but don't forget what's always made you happy, and be willing to reconnect with something. And that might be outside of your comfort zone, reconnecting with something, long forgotten joys of your childhood. I just want to say licking the beater. Yes, definitely. This is lick the beater vibe here, or make some cookies. Something. There's some memory there that you're meant to re-engage with something like that. So we're concluding some things, but we don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's some really good stuff from your past, and you want to make sure you're bringing that forward with you. And then where you're going Ace of Pentacles, new beginning, a really solid new beginning. This new beginning's been coming for so long, we can't even see where it began. It might have begun in the Wands or the Cups or something like that, but this is in reality. There's a new beginning coming. It's real. It's an actual like job, an actual person, an actual new apartment, an actual new something coming in here, an actual new relationship. Did I already say that? Something coming in here that it's got roots, it's real, it's tangible, it's 3D. You've got some sort of new beginning happening here in the 3D in your future. So there's this toggling between the past and the future that you're up to right now. This, you know, going back, what did make you happy? And then you do have some really cool stuff coming for you in the future. Your hard work is paying off. That's what I feel like this is. Your hard work is going to pay off here. But there is something back there that you don't want to forget, you don't want to leave behind. It's going to bring you some joy and some peace in the midst of a conflict. All right, Scorpio, I hope that that's helpful for you, and I hope you have a great week.